Hear my voice.
No, we are not live yet.
Oh, now I think we're live now. I can see. No, this is 22nd January. Today is not 22nd June, right?
No, it's
Today,
not. But
today,
I think
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the title is wrong. But today is what July. July what
Yeah,
again? Seventh,
July
is it?
6th. July 6th here.
Sixth.
I think
Okay.
we're live. We're live.
No, I could
Okay.
not see Parthiv.
Refresh it. Refresh it. It just came through.
Let's see.
It's under 22nd June.
No, I'm just directly going to our Glad channel and trying to find.
Yeah, yeah.
Glad.
That's what I did also.
Now we are live. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
You can see it. Okay.
All right. Let's get started.
The,
I think we have fewer games this week, but
okay.
we have some interesting discussions which we want to talk about. I think it's mid-season, so I think it'll be great to take a look at the rankings across the different pools, and maybe talk about the top five teams and maybe others who have a chance to get into the top five for each pool, and maybe the 16 team and their lucky loser, who would that team be? Also, we have some rankings which we are going to start this week, where we are going to show the top 39 teams and how they are ranked by the analysts. Again, it's not by just points, but it's also matter of it's a matter of subjective interpretation as well from the analysts. So we'll be starting taking a look at that as well. But first of all, hope everyone has had a good weekend. We had a break last week, and to all my naturalized citizens, happy 4th. uh, and let's get started. I think the first game of the week is Spartans versus Dynamites. I'll start sharing the screen so that we can follow. Where is that? Always. Yes. There's so many options that. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Sharing brick clubs.
Very good.
All right. So we are talking about Spartans versus Dynamites. Again, this is a game that Dynamite should have won very easily, but as you can see, the score it didn't. It wasn't an easy job for Vijay Shanmugan and the team. They barely scraped through by one wicket, and I think Spartans did an outstanding job. Defending or at least being close to defending those 58 runs. So I'll go to Satish. To break this game for us.
Yeah, very well said, Bharti. I think initially we thought that Dynamite should get this game very comfortably, but it did not happen that way. I think Dynamite struggled to win this game. To start with, Dynamite won the toss and surprisingly decided to bowl first in this game. I'm not sure what was the thought behind it, but I think this was the game they should have batted first and should have, the pitch was good and everything was good. They should have gone for a bigger score in this particular game, but they decided to bowl first. Maybe some strategy around there. But when they started to bowl first, I think the first two wickets they were able to pick up very quickly from the Spartan side. But after that, Sandeep and Akhil made some good partnership about 30 odd run, which actually got them a good start, I would say, when they were two down, and then the third wicket was like after 30-40 runs. So the Spartan had a good start from the first 12 overs. But after that, as all the game that they are having, the lower middle order after Ishwar, they do not have anyone, to even score 10-15 runs. So the same thing has happened in this particular game, where you see a lot of ducks in the middle and lower middle order, and they got wrapped up in 58 run all out, where Rajkumar picking up three and Vignesh Bala picking two and Karthik picking two wickets. When Dynamite started batting, I think 58 was not something that they should have worried about to start with, and but again they did not have a good start. Where Prithvi, Satish, Arun, Avinash, all four got out in another just 14-15 run in the first 5-6 overs. After that, their run machine Murugan again scored only scoring the double digit, along with some partnership with Vinod and Karthik. they they actually pulled up the game there. Actually, the 30 run plus some few extras there, 35, 40 run on those 3 wicket partnership. They got them in a game back. But again, quick wicket from the Spartan from like after getting those 3 wickets, quick wicket Kishan and Sai got them Spartans back into the game again. Mm. Again, as I mentioned, Dynamite barely managed to win this game. And again, I'm not sure what Vignesh Bala is doing that down in the order. I think I mentioned this in my game. I mentioned this in couple of more games. I'm not sure what is the strategy, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Vignesh is coming in 7-8 down there. But anyway, he managed to get them a game that one run. I did not see exactly at what time he scored, but he made sure that he is winning that game and not losing the last wicket. One thing I wanted to discuss in this particular game, and not exactly in this particular game, but uh, just a thought because we are into the DCL from very long period of time. Do you think that Dynamite deserve to get the bonus point? Forget about the DCL rule for a time being. Okay, let's not go there. I think this. I'm not sure if we. This is a good discussion. Maybe we can have with the
Hmm.
larger forum maybe in the future. But I think this kind of a game, it's a very close game. No game can be this close, right? Where last 2-3 runs, 1 wicket in DCL is the closest game that you could actually see. And when I see opponent is getting the 5 point, I feel like Spartan actually deserved that 1 point, if you ask
Right.
me. But
Yeah.
again,
So I think,
we have the
yeah, I
rule. I'm
agree.
not debating on the rule, but I'm saying sense of the game. Ideally, Spartans should get that bonus point. They fought really hard to defend that 58 run, and they barely, Dynamite barely managed to win this game.
Yeah. So my thought and opinion is obviously it's we can't go subjectively. So we need some mathematical
Yeah, I do
formula or
understand.
algorithm to make this work universally. I think unless somebody comes up with a brainchild like Duckworth and Lewis, where it takes into account all the different, more than just one variable. Right now, it's very simple. It's 85% of the
I do
runs
get that.
scored, and it's basic. So unless somebody actually can figure out the variability through wickets lost and those kinds of things, yeah, then we can basically come up with a more, I would say, a better judgment of this bonus point rule. So until that happens, we are kind of locked into the situation where it's just runs and the overs that we can
I do
judge.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I mentioned I do get that we have very robust rule at this point to define
Yep.
the bonus. But my personal view, seeing this game, I actually think that Spartan actually feel they actually should be proud of how the way have they bowled a defend try to defend their 58.
Yep. By
Or, or,
virtue of that.
or else I would say Dynamite should think how they have approached toward the 50 chasing the 58. Both the ways you can see this.
Yep. I think the biggest difference, if you see the scorecard, and Viju, you might want to chime in also on this game, is the extras. If you see, Dynamites gave 5 extras versus
Yes,
Spartans giving 15
15
extras.
extras.
There itself, in a low-scoring game, 10 extra runs, makes all the difference.
And 15 being the highest from the Dynamite side, I would say.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I
So
mean, with regards to Gaba's question, I do not know. Doesn't the committee have enough problems already that Gaba wants to make life more difficult for the committee? You make this subjective and you'll have bloody murder. I mean, already you have had questions of corruption being raised up. Now, now you have points given subjectively, Parthiv. Let me tell you, somebody will be out there to murder Gaba. I don't know what Gaba is thinking. I mean, I really have no
That's
idea
why I
what
made
Gaba is.
Vijay, that's
maybe,
why I made the
maybe
disclaimer before I started.
you disclaimer or no,
no,
when a point
I
is
don't think
gone.
it can. Yeah, I don't think it can be subjective. Like I said, it
Yeah,
has
it
to be
cannot be
something which is
subjective.
mathematical.
No, yeah, I mean, I think this formula we have used for several years. I think 85% is a pretty reasonable thing. If you didn't get 85%, you know what? Too bad. That's the rule. That's the rule. I mean, you want to make it 80%. I don't have a problem with that. But anytime it becomes subjective, you'll have bloody murder for the committee. And I mean, I think the committee has enough problems on the hand rather than
Yeah, it
to
cannot
say
be
yes.
subjective.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be. Has the formula worked? I think the formula has worked. Everybody knows what the thing is. You have a cheat sheet. You have all kinds of things. You go and figure it out. More credit to the Dynamites for getting the bonus point. But I understand. I agree that this was a very close game. In fact, when I was looking through this, Parthiv, a bus full of ugly women were driving through. They were sitting on a bus and they run into a Mack truck, and all of them died. And then the Mack truck driver also died in that process. And so they all get to heaven, and God says, it's really unfortunate this accident happened. So I'm going to give each of you a wish. And each of these ugly women, first woman gets up and says, I just want to be the next Aishwarya Rai. And then the second woman says, she wants to be, I don't know, Gigi Hadid or whoever it is. You list down all this thing. Each of them wanted to be, and by about the 5th person, the truck driver starts laughing, and then they ignore him. But the 10th person comes on, and finally, all 20 women come, and all of them, they were ugly in life, and now here was an opportunity to have the best body and the best makeup and the best image and things like that. They all become beautiful and they are super happy. And then the truck driver is asked, well, what do you want? What do you want to be? And he says, what is your wish? And he says, I want all of them back to ugly. You get my point? This was an ugly game, Parthiv. This was as ugly as it gets. I mean, Dynamites Vijay Shanmugam himself texted me and said, Viju, that was an ugly game. That was his own text to me, and it was an ugly game. But I'll tell you, there is a silver lining, even in ugliness. I think this guy, Rajkumar, he had 5 overs, 2 maidens, 3 runs and 3 wickets, 27 dot balls, Parthiv. That is unbelievable. And his partner in crime was Murugan Vishwanathan. And if you ask me, this season, Parthiv, Murugan Vishwanathan, if you go and look at it, he is to Dynamites what LeBron James is to Lakers. He has been carrying that team. And he has batted 6 times, 6 innings he has played. 1 time he was not out. That is when they sent him pretty much close to number 10 or something like that. He has scored 139 runs in 132 balls. That's a very good strike rate. He has a 27.8 average in DCL. That is unheard of. You get my point? That is how well he's playing. And despite he's playing this against Titans, our Titans friend is sitting here. Murugan Vishwanathan came in at number 10. And Gaba can thank Dynamites for that brain fart for I don't know what they were thinking. They sent him that low down. And sure enough, paid for that with a hefty price. They lost that game. And even this game, Gaba was saying that, what is the batting order like? I mean, it is not making a lot of sense that Vignesh Bala came that low down. But 4 out of 5 wins, Dynamites won only because of Murugan Vishwanathan. So Murugan Vishwanathan, MV, you might as well make him MVP. He is the MVP of the Dynamites, at least as of today. You get my point? He is a human pocket dynamo. And this pocket dynamo has been driving the Dynamites. And all of the Dynamites need to take him out for dinner and thank him, because whatever record they are having is because Murugan Vishwanathan has literally put them on their back and carried them. I mean, I know they have a few other players, but he has been the difference maker for them. So we'll just highlight that and say, great win against Spartans. Great to get the 5 points. But this was a very, very ugly game. I mean, it was ugly all round. But yeah, these two guys, I mean, this is Rajkumar. I mean, 27 dot balls. That is Giriyappa like, Giriyappa has stats quite often where he has 25 dot balls. But I'm not sure even if Giriyappa had 27 dot balls, but this guy had 27 dot balls and picked up 3 wickets. Yeah, I mean, in 30 balls, if you bowl 27 dot balls, I mean, that's going to kill any opposition. I don't care who you are.
So yeah, as you mentioned, 5 points for Dynamites. I think we will, when we look at the points table, we'll look at how crucial that even that bonus point is, because you have Raptors and Sterling strikers all breathing down each other's neck. So these 5 points, if they had dropped any 1 point, it would have made it they might have ruled the fact that they dropped a point against Spartan, because pretty much everyone expects them to win comprehensively and get those 5 points. So
By the way, how come Vijay Shanmugam is not playing? I mean, the previous game, I know he scored quite a decent amount of runs coming in the middle order. This game, I don't see him. Is he
Yeah,
out of town? But you guys know him very well because he probably attends all your committee meetings. So that's why I was out of curiosity. Where is Vijay Shanmugam? We can't blame the Dynamites' decision making if Vijay Shanmugam himself did not play. I'm not sure what really is going on.
So I think it's a couple of things. One is the captain syndrome. I think it's getting everyone else to play, and then I think he's struggling with his ankle or something around his foot. He's had some injections or steroid shots.
Okay.
Struggling with that as well. So maybe a combination of those two, or maybe just giving others a chance. Okay. We'll find out. I'm sure he's listening. Sure, he's going to text you. The exact reason why he's not playing. All right, let's go to the next game. The next game was supposed to be one of the games that we were all looking forward to. The MCC Miles versus Red Devils. Red Devils, we've all talked about the most improved or the most threatening team that this year with the likes of the acquisitions that they made through Chanakya Lokam, and obviously they had their Swarna Rahul Mritini. All of those guys together have been, and Gagan Singh obviously at the top of the order. He's been firing all guns, but in this case, I don't know what went wrong. I mean, yes, MCC Miles have always put up a decent total. They have a good batting unit, but just 47. I didn't expect that from Red Devils, and there was outstanding bowling effort. I would say, at the top, Abhilash, completely demolished, the batting order for Red Devils. I think he was spot on with Praneeth. Everyone pretty much contributed, and just giving out 7 extras. That was the key. I think their disciplined bowling unit. So, what do you guys think went wrong with the Red Devils? Did you guys feel that this was an opportunity lost by Red Devils?
Parthu, I thought in this game, there's something called God mode in video games. And I just think that let's give credit where credit is due. Rahul Chenna went into God mode. That's exactly what happened in this game, because everybody else was failing. And then you see this innings reminded me of Rahul Chenna versus Glads a couple of years ago, where he single-handedly won the game. He went into God mode on that day. Rahul Chenna's favorite sports person of all time is Roger Federer. Believe it or not, Parthiv. He said that on this show. All right. And this is what Nadal had to say about Federer. He said, when Federer goes into God mode, there is very little you can do other than, as a competitor, just try to extend the points and hope that his level comes down. Because unless that level comes down, you're not going to be able to compete. And, you just have to wait for your opportunities, accept that, this set is gone. Just try to lengthen the set. And that's Nadal's strategy. And I'll tell you, Rahul Chenna alone was greater than, he single-handedly outscored the entire Red Devils team. Right. I mean, the whole team combined, along with extras, is less than Rahul Chenna. So my question then to Gaba would be, Gaba, is Red Devils a paper tiger? That's the hush-hush question which I got from a few people. Viju, don't you think you guys have made too big a deal about Red Devils? Are those guys justifiably that good as much as you guys have hyped it up? And I find that, it's a little difficult to answer that question, because here we look at it and you say, yep, Chanakya Lokam, that is a fantastic ad. In fact, I thought that was probably the first best ad or the second best ad. The Gagan Singh was a great ad. You have added all these pieces. That Soumit Nimma, if I'm not mistaken, Partha, I do not know, but I thought he used to play for Troy Hawks.
Troy Hawks, yeah.
Troy Hawks.
And so they've added all these wonderful pieces, yet the sum of the parts is less than Rahul Chenna. That tells me that's a huge problem right there, Somehow something is not working. And right now the question asked is this a paper tiger? And I
Yeah.
thought I'll throw this out to you guys and say, hey, what do you think? Because the other thing is, how come Swarna Rahul keeps coming lower and lower and lower down the order? I mean, this is something. Shouldn't your best batsman be going one down, two down, somewhere around that range? But I keep seeing, and somehow, in order to accommodate all these new additions, your star player is now going lower and lower and lower. And at this point, he's getting lost in the whole thing. I mean, I'm not sure. You're telling me that this Nimma person who has come down, one down, can displace Swarna Rahul Mritini. I mean, I find that a little difficult to believe. I'm sure Somit Nimma is a very good player. He's no doubt a good player. Even in this game, he scored. But should he be pushing our friend so low down? That makes, he made his reputation opening and going one down. I don't remember when he had that outstanding season come this low down. I mean, I'm sure there is a strategy that, okay, if all else fails, he's going to come and bail us out. But
Yep.
I do not know. I don't think Michael Jordan won championships by saying, oh, you know what, let me go into defense mode and let me not score any points and let everybody else score points. I mean, he still went out and put up the numbers.
I think Red Devils, the Pokeries are suffering from the same syndrome that we've talked about last year as well. I think Vamsi had brought it up. These guys play pretty much every tournament, and I think the burnout, especially during midway, is starting to show up. I mean, they started fantastically, and that's why we had basically given them this tag, of the most improved team or the team to watch out for. But in the last 3 weekends, they've basically been beaten by KRCC, beaten by Rangers, and now by MCC Miles. So it's starting to show up. And I think last game we had pointed out Mritini was not even there in the team. He didn't even play. So we brought up that same question: why isn't he playing? And I think the reason is I think, heads the FCC Cup team, and he's managing that from a priority perspective. So I think there are priorities which clash, and that's the reason why. I mean, yes, they are forming a very good unit which plays across, but then you need to determine what are your priorities. If DCL is your priority or FSC Cup is your priority, I think that's where I think they are probably struggling a little bit.
And another thing for the Red Devils, if you ask me the suggestion, they are heavy batting. We discussed about it, right? They need to sort out with their batting order, as you were mentioning, right? Not just Swarna down, okay? A lot
Yep.
of down that year they are actually still on experimenting. When you are heavy batting, at least identify your 5-6 batsmen who are gonna batting top. I know you may disappoint some of some of those people,
Yep.
but a game like this where MCC Miles is your good opponent, right? You should play like a playoff and identify your 5-6 batsmen that you gonna bat on the top order and play around with those only, rather than experimenting a lot with your batting order against a good opponent. Because even if I don't know exactly the last few games, but Sai Karodi was moved from the bottom to middle order in this particular game. There must be a thought behind it because he was playing good, but he was consistently playing on the lower middle order, right? So they are changing their batting order against the good opponent where they are chasing 101. I think they need to sort this out.
Yep.
And again, I think to answer to Vijay is, maybe last few games it shows that the Red Devils is not performing, but still they have a good side to disappoint, and I still believe that they have good batting side. Where I think again we have to give the credit to Rahul, but at the same time, after getting 6 wickets in 23, if you are chasing 101, you are actually anyway going with your negative mindset while chasing, because you have lost the game, from your hand there itself. When you are able to close opponent about 50-60 odd run, now you are chasing 101 run. I know Rahul Chinna did fantastic, probably one of the best inning that he has played this year, or maybe in the last few years after the Glads game. But still, from the Red Devils point, if you see that 80 runs in the last 4 wicket, for them it doesn't make sense. The way they were bowling in the beginning, they could not close it properly.
Yep. So, when we look at the points table, this will be another one which we can talk about, whether they're paper tigers or they have a realistic chance, because still there is, Out of the 7 games, they've won 4 games, which was a great start. They were 4-4, and then they lost 3 in a row these last 3 weekends. All right, let's go to the next game of the week: GLCC versus SLCC Guardians. Now, I've been talking about GLCC to Vamsi. I think I mentioned to him in the last show. The batting isn't clicking. I mean, I haven't seen them post a really good score. Yes, they have been winning, and that's why they have the points. They have the winning percentage. All that aside, they haven't been convincing enough. Even in this game, if you look at it, they won by 14 runs against SLCC Guardians. SLCC Guardians would have been at one point of time when they got GLCC out for 70, they would have, I'm sure there was a ray of hope in their team that maybe today is our day. Getting GLCC out for 70, there was a chance. But obviously, GLCC has not only just the batting but also the bowling experience as well. Prabhu and Samish and Akash, all of them, are two good bowlers to kind of let this just go without a fight. But surprising. I mean, GLCC has not yet turned on their batting, and I'm surprised that even if with so many points in their kitty, they're still not in my favorites yet. So, what do you guys think about what's going on with GLCC?
I think as Vijay was mentioning about Dynamite, right? They are heavily dependent on Murugan. Same goes with GLCC. All the runs is being scored by either Akash or Ajit Bhai in almost all the games. If they are not clicking, they are struggling in the games. In this game also, the same thing happened. Akash and Ajit both has given GLCC a good partnership. After that, Umair came and played that 10-run inning. Other than that, no other one able to score the double digit. And last 5 wickets got all out in just about 10 runs. So they were about 56, 55, 57 for 4, and after that, 13 run, 5 wickets or 6 wickets. So that shows their lower middle order. I think this is the case from almost a lot of games where the lower middle order is not clicking for them.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I also think that the additions haven't yet worked. I mean, our own analyst Wamsi hasn't really fired for them yet. I don't see any big scores. He's been out cheap. So, and the other, I didn't see Tejas here, obviously, but Prabhu is still not there yet. With the ball, yes, but not with the bat. So, some of these newer additions haven't been working or firing as of yet on GLCC scorecard. So a matter of concern definitely. And again, I see Samish down the order. I mean, I think he's good enough a batsman not to be at number 11. So or number 10, I would say.
yeah.
So something he needs to also think about. Maybe that experience in the middle order is what they need to stabilize and get some runs before they start throwing their wickets away.
Yeah, I think SLCC Guardian again. Talk about the SLCC Guardian batting. I think they were having a difficulty with their batting, right? Otherwise, if they would have any other team which has two decent batsmen out there, right, in the middle order, they would have got this game.
Yep.
With the
Mike,
close, they were already.
question to both of you guys. I mean, can you click to that GLCC scorecard, the batting scorecard? I mean, I understand that now Preet Singh is an ad, but is he an opening batsman in your book?
He always
He's not
opened.
in my book. He's not in my book, opening batsman. I mean, I'm
I
not.
think
I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure
think with this,
what the logic is. I mean, if you want to keep him happy and to make him happy and things like that, that's one thing. But is he an opening batsman? I'm not sure. I mean,
no,
if I had to make the decision, there's no way I'm sending him opening. I'm sorry. You might be a good player and things like that, but I have better options, and so I always look at what is best for the team, and I say, well, whether keeping people happy is the most important thing. I could care less. I mean, I'm more interested in the team winning, and let's win that first, and then. But having said that, let me ask you this question: then they are winning, so they'll say, you know what, hey, we are winning. But I think we all can agree on one thing: that the quality of the wins is very suspect. I mean, yes, they're getting 5 points, but very often, it's these are ugly wins. And my question is, if you looked at the points table, they're probably number one in terms of points because they've played more games than everybody else. And they have probably one loss, and every other game is a win with bonus point. And if you're a bottom ranked team, number 16, number 15, or number 14, you'll be licking your chops and saying, I want to play GLCC. They do not. I mean, if I have a choice between playing KRCC or GLCC, I'll lift up my hands and say, you know what? Give me GLCC any day. That's the Parthiv. I can't hear you, but I think you're on mute. But
sorry.
But
yeah, any day. I mean, yes. If you look at the standings, if you just compare by points, yes, GLCC would come number 2 or number 3. But to be honest, I don't think they're there yet to be called as the top 3 team in DCL. They have been winning, but not satisfactory. But I would agree. I mean, if given a choice, I would play GLCC any day today because they are not there yet. And this is the time I would, try to kind of get a win out of them.
So, Parthiv, for me, they are the weakest number 1 team of all the 3 pools. You get my point. You take all the 3 pools. They are the weakest number 1 team out there. And in fact, I would not even play the number 2 or the number 3 in some of the other pools because I would say I would rather take on GLCC. I mean, and the other question is, you have great players. What happened to Tejas Shantegowda? What happened to Hemant? He's another exceptional player. Mm-hmm. These guys are not playing. I do not know if these guys are going out there climbing Mount Everest or are they visiting Challenger Deep in Titan number 2 or something like that, or visiting the Titanic in Titan number 2. I do not know what's happening, but these guys are not there. You can say these are all great additions, but Parthiv, an addition who does not play is not an addition. Okay? He's just a roster eater. All right? He's just eating up my roster space. He's not playing any games for me. I'm getting absolutely nothing of value for that. He's just taking up a spot. That's how I see it. And so if Tejas is listening, I do not know where he is, but or Hemant, well, guess what, guys? You guys are exceptional players. You guys need to play. If the games which you do not play is of no use to anybody, it's certainly not of any use. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this and helping GLCC out, but my job is as an analyst to call it as I see it. And when I see it, I'm saying that, hey, they have some very good players, but somehow everything seems to have to depend upon Akash and Ajit to do all the heavy lifting. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I think GLCC is kind of using, if I see this through, is using that brownstone model. They just barely will get through this league phase. They'll just win, just make sure that they are in the playoffs, and then they turn it on in the playoffs. So you might never know that maybe their strategy is like,
that did not work last year too, right, Parthiv?
Yeah,
because the team like Hawks who play with a regular player will come in the playoff with a better strategy and will beat you.
Correct.
Because you will have a lot of players just played 3-4 games and did not had a good sense of I did not feel throughout the tournament, and they are just coming with some new responsibility and team also adjusting, right? And another side, the teams like Hawks which is coming with their specific 12, 14, 15 players, everybody know their role and coming up with a playoff different mindset and then beating the GLCC. So the way you are thinking, that game won't work that way anymore. When you see lot of teams does not have a star player, but they are as a team they are playing very good.
Part of the GLCC of several years ago did not operate on this model. You get my point. The GLCC of the year we are seeing, or the last year, is not the model on which they operated all these several years ago. You get my point, and that's I think you're seeing that in the outcome also. And
but in their defense, I think they'll probably say, hey, what, we still top, we're still getting the points. What's the complaint or what's the hula about?
So, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I do not know how to say this other than, it's not probably striking any fear. Whereas before, I remember when I used to play for Lansing and things like that, the very name GLCC used to strike fear in the heart. Oh man, that is a certain loss for us,
Yep.
we are not going to get any points. We are already coming into the game. But now a number 16, number 15, number 14 team or whoever it is has to play GLCC, will say, bring them on.
I agree. I think that's definitely. I mean, a lot of teams feel the same way. They no longer consider GLCC unbeatable before even getting into the game. So definitely that fear factor is not there. All right, next go to the next game. Next game was a pretty one-sided game, so we'll not probably spend a lot of time on this. MI Rangers versus Phantoms. Phantoms again not living up to the competition yet. MI Rangers making sure that they didn't drop any points. Sizable contributions from Anil, Vijay, Vineet, all of them, and with the extras piled up, they got to a very secure and defensive score of 103. And then Phantoms, as they have done in all their games, haven't given any fight or competition apart from Krishna, and we've talked about him. He did a fantastic job, a fantastic innings last time. Uh, Phantoms played, gave them a really good total, and surprised a lot of people. Even in spite of them losing, they had a fairly competitive total that they posted thanks to Krishna's. I think it was a half century, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this time around, his sole contribution of 17 wasn't enough. They were able to only pile up 54, which was very low score, and almost half of what MI Rangers had. So comfortable win for MI Rangers. Unless you guys want to add anything, I'll probably move to the next game.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. All right. The next game was Marvels versus FCC. And this, I think, would be something which FCC would be really thrilled about. Something which you don't see a lot of 7-wicket win with 14 overs. They chased 91 and 14 overs, so they were quite rapid in their chase. A very satisfying win for FCC. But Marvels, I think, after 90, they must have thought a chance. But what do you guys think of this scorecard with FCC? Does that make you believe FCC is a strong contender for this year's playoff?
Parthiv, I intend to make an all-out bid to get Jagan from Marvels into Glads. And you might wonder why. Because I need that man to win the toss. Because this man seems to be winning every possible toss. All right? Let me tell you something. If these guys hadn't won the toss, there would have been several records which probably would have been broken. But they have been winning the toss and batting first. But I don't know. I mean, even though you say this is heartwarming for FCC, if I'm the FCC skipper, I'm a little worried because my fourth and fifth bowlers in this game went for like 25 runs in their 5 overs. Look at that. 5 overs, 25 runs. 5 overs, 25 runs. That doesn't give me too much this thing. I know that if Marvels can score off my fourth and fifth bowlers, well, guess what? Other teams will be just licking their chops saying that, bring on your fourth and fifth bowlers. And that there are teams target certain bowlers. And you'll see this in the next game that Glads targeted. We couldn't target, who's that? Deepak. So we targeted somebody else, and it's as simple as that. You have to target somebody. And so they'll say that, well, ODR and Murthy are prime targets, because if Amit Gowda is not going to leak runs and is going to hold one end up, then we'll just pay respect to Amit and let him finish his 5 overs and go after the others.
Yeah, I think they were missing.
But I think the FCC has only played with those 3 regular bowlers, right? I see.
That's the weakness there, right? So every team has a soft underbelly. Let me tell you with this, maybe with the exception of KRCC, every other team has a soft underbelly, and that's their soft underbelly right there.
But I thought they were missing Teju, right? That's one of their regular bowlers, right?
Right. Teju did not play this game.
Yeah.
Pradeep from the GLCC was playing a lot of
Oh
games,
yeah,
and he used to
Pradeep
bowl for
Kamath,
5 overs. He was missing.
Kalmat.
Yep.
He's a regular bowler as well. But yeah, you pointed out, yeah, there's some concerns. But if you look at the batting, I would say, as a captain, I would be thrilled with this scorecard.
But at the same time, if you see, right, if you go back to the Marvel, if you want to see Marvel has scored those 80, 90 run from all the opponent. Most of their opponent, they, as you mentioned, they were batting first and scoring those 70 to 90 runs against almost all the opponent in this pool. So I think Marvel side, I think they have good batting, but I think they have to work on their bowling. So do the
Yeah,
reverse analysis for the Marvel.
their bowling, Marvel's bowling is pretty weak. That's why teams would love to bat against them. But again, I think Partha, there was when Mike Tyson was in his heyday, people used to say, until you get into the ring with Mike Tyson and take a punch, you really do not know what is the power of the punch. You can do a lot of talking, but once you step into the ring, then reality bites, and I think that's the same thing here. I mean, scoring, yes, it's good that they scored 91 in 14 overs, but I'm not sure how much hype we should put into that, because remember, Marvels is not playing
Yep.
against Stars or playing against KRCC, who have top-notch bowling attacks. You see, so it's a different ball game altogether.
Yep. Yeah, so a comfortable win for FCC. Again, as I said, they would be very happy with the batting effort, and hopefully they
But
can.
again, you can only play the opponent who is placed in front of you, and
Correct.
you have to take care of business, and you have to get your 5 points. So credit our FCC skipper for Nishant for at least getting his 5 points in a very comfortable manner, not making a mountain out of a molehill like our Dynamite friends made a mountain out of a molehill. So at least in that sense, yes, a lot of positives, but at the same time, let's not get too carried away, in the sense that remember, the bowling attack of Marvels is not exactly as deadly as let's say some of the other teams out there.
All right. With that, we go to the big game of that weekend, Glads versus Stars, a repeat of last year's quarterfinals. Uh, Obviously, Stars came on top in that instance, but Gladiators got their revenge this weekend. It was a game that started off as a real. I'll go first, and obviously, Viju, I'm sure you are dying to go and talk about it, but I'll go with a little bit of what I saw. First of all, obviously, hopefully, Arjun is doing well, and he is recovering. Our best wishes to him. He had quite a bit of an eventful game in this. Got injured twice, once while batting, and then again recurring it while fielding. And obviously, we don't want one of DCL's best player to not be playing. So hopefully, if there's any update from his side, Viju, I'm sure everyone would love to hear. But on this game, I think it was Hardeep Singh's show, and I very well remember when he was on the show, he had promised a show, and he delivered. Absolutely, 100% strike rate, 40 balls, 40 runs, and sometimes I do things Hardeep doesn't play his natural game. He kind of slows down a lot more than he should, and waits for a lot of the balls. And in DCL, it's very risky because one ball has your name on it. It can go low, go anything can happen. So you might as well want to score runs when you can. In this case, he held the innings. He made sure he was around, and everybody kind of made some little contribution around him. Got that score to 94, and after that, Stars. I expected much better response from it. One of the surprising things, I mean, I was looking at the bowling stats for Stars. Imtiaz went for quite a few runs. I mean, you guys took him really hard. Obviously, as you mentioned, you probably paid your respect to Deepak, but then you targeted Imtiaz and Shashank as your two go-to bowlers, both conceding 7 and 6 per over. I think those 10 overs are going to be really the difference makers in this game if you look at it, because it was always going to be an 80-90 game for me. So and when Star started, you know very surprisingly, they lost wickets in a hurry at the start. Like 4 for 18 of 5 for 25. I mean, that was not the start that they expected. Even though Ravi was there, and until he was there, I was, just watching the match closely. That can change anytime. But once he went, Stars batting. We've played strikers has played Stars, and we know be the same thing. If once Ravi Teja gets out, Stars do not have anything even remotely as close to Ravi Teja in their lineup. So, over to you, Viju. I know you are itching to go back, and or maybe Satish. I think since
Yeah, maybe let
I'm
me.
pretty sure
I
has
just want to add maybe for a
some
minute.
long
So
story to go, but I'll
you
let
may
Satish go first.
yeah. I'm audible. Yeah, let me allow me 1 minute. Then Vijay can take it up. So
Okay.
as you mentioned, right, the Glad's batting, I would say only Hardeep made that impact. Okay, he was batting on a different pitch with a different set of bowlers than other 9 batsmen. Okay, 8 batsmen, I would say, because everybody from the Glad side was struggling to score. If you see, right, nobody else was in the double digit, even not even close to the double digit. Only Hardeep who played that 40-run inning, and a very important 10-run partnership with that last wicket where Gotham and one good another fellow, I forgot his name. Let me go back and see if you or show me the screen.
Yeah.
The last wicket partnership basically with Ganesh and Gotham.
Yeah.
That actually also held on where I 83 for 9. I thought now they will be done within another 1 or 2 runs, but they scored another 10 run, which actually I liked. I was watching that live. So
Mm.
that was altogether a different inning that Hardeep has played. And moreover, Hardeep bowled as well. I think that we discussed last week when Hardeep was here, if you remember, Parthiv.
Yeah.
And I specifically asked this question because I personally like Hardeep bowling. And good that Satya took that advice, and good to see Hardeep bowling and picking up the best wicket from the Star side, right? He got Ravi Teja, right?
Yeah.
So
That was a
I just
big win.
wanted to highlight that those 2 points before handing over to Vijay Bhai. Over to you, Vijay Bhai.
Yeah, Partha, if you can pull up the Glad scorecard.
Oh,
Yeah, so if we
hold
go
on.
up if you ask me, Partha, when two very good teams play against each other, uh, whoever wins the first game rarely wins the second game again, because what will happen is the second team will make adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we lost last year to Stars in the quarterfinals. Obviously, this game was circled. uh, we didn't have our best team out there, but they probably also did not have their best team out there. But make no mistake about it, both teams came to play. And Hardeep already told you on last week's show, hey, we are going to come and put on a show. And sure enough, he backed it up by he himself putting on a show. So if you really ask me, the toss is super crucial in these kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Stars won the toss. They batted first. They put up 100+ score. This year, we won the toss. We batted first. Similar conditions. There also it rained. This one also, the ground was wet. It was a perfect batting wicket, at least when it started out. But then as it dried up, things changed. So if you ask me, Zishan Gori, we already knew what we were going to do to him to restrict him, because he did a lot of damage against us in the first game. So we already had some idea as to what we wanted to do, and we were not going to sit down and repeat the same mistake of last time. Last time, if you remember, Parthiv, you just said sometime Hardeep goes into a shell. And
Yep.
yes, I have seen that multiple times. And I have told, you can go and ask Hardeep how many times I've told him, Hardeep, if the ball is there to be hit, hit it. Because there are some players who have the capability to whack the ball out of the park. You get that ball, if you don't send it out of the park because
Mm-hmm.
you are so much worried about the partner on the other end, it really doesn't do you any service. And one other guy who needs to take that lesson is Satya Velayutham. I have told you many times, do not go into the shell where he feels he can go there and stay at the wicket. I, And he lost his wicket trying to do that exact same thing. And whenever he goes into the shell, nothing good ever happens. I've told him, if there's a ball which is there in your arc, he has exceptional hitting power, hit it. Same thing with Hardeep. Go and whack the ball. If it's there to be whacked, whack it. But,
Right.
not every ball can be whacked. I mean, you have to respect the bowler. Sure, Deepak can't be whacked just like that. I mean, you might want to whack Deepak, but it's easier said than done, I mean, you can think whatever you want to think, but that's not how the game plays out. But I think the toss was crucial. And when the moment we won the toss, we knew we were going to bat. And the moment one of these teams puts 90, 95, it's going to be a very uphill task. Remember, Parthiv, the previous game I told you, every team, with the exception of probably KRCC, has a soft underbelly. The question is, where is that soft underbelly and how big is that soft underbelly? Parthiv, remember in our own conversation between the five of us, the moment Lads got to 90 plus or something like that, or even around 85, you immediately texted, Stars don't have the batting to chase that down. What is what is the soft underbelly of Stars? That is the soft underbelly of Stars. You get rid of Ravi Teja, let us see who else can come and defeat us. Going into this game, we had one clear thing: get Teja out as quickly as possible, in whichever way possible. Having said that, Parthiv, I did not think that the umpiring was the greatest in this game. The umpires were very nice guys, okay? Don't take me wrong for that. They were very nice guys. They were very professional in conducting the game. They were very understanding. They waited it out for the whole this thing. You have to give them credit. And they have umpired games before. But in this game, if you ask me, they got a number of decisions wrong. At least 10,000 miles away, that's how I feel, all right? For example, if we went to the Glad scorecard, I do not... First of all, Udit was given LBW. Personally, I didn't think it was LBW. But then, okay, let's give them, let's say the umpires got it right. But if you went into the Stars batting, you will find that Satya bowled a ball which was plumber than plump, and it was not given out. So if that is not given out, then there is no way Udit should have been given out. But let's move on. I mean, on the Stars side, if you ask me, I don't think Ravi Teja was out. Having said that, Hariharan, you can go and look at it. Hariharan was out, caught behind, but the umpire gave it not out. But the very next ball, he got out. Now, so it didn't cost us anything. Do I think Ravi Teja got out? I do not think so. I honestly feel that he did not nick the ball. That's what I felt sitting 10,000 miles away. Now, there were a number of decisions which went wrong. So I feel that if I had to trade Ravi Teja for Udit and the mistakes of Hariharan and a couple of other decisions which I did not agree with, okay, you know what? I'll take that trade because I think Teja is the key wicket because all of us playing Stars know one thing. Let's get rid of him and let us see if the others can beat you. And but again, let's give credit for Glad's. Hardeep really played on a different level. He really took the attack to them. He did not play the 15 ball, 1 run, 30 balls, 2 runs kind of innings. He went there. If the ball was there to be hit, he hit it. And sure enough, he hit 4 sixes and things like that. So he was in prime form, 40 runs in 40 balls. But if you ask me, it was the partnership, Parthiv. Partnership between Udit and Hardeep. That's what really set the tone. And whenever Udit plays for us, Parthiv, he really opens the batting for us. Because whenever Hardeep plays with Udit, I have seen that Hardeep has a very easy time. And also, he seems to click. So having Udit there is really critical for us. So going into this game, I kept on telling Satya, you need to bring Udit in. You need to bring Udit in. But if you ask me, we might have won this battle, but we might have lost the war. So you might ask me why I would say something like that.
Yeah.
My son.
I'm pretty sure I can guess what you're going to say.
Yeah. Because my son called me, and yesterday we were talking about it, and then I said, "Hey, how's Glad's doing?" So I said, Arjun got injured, and then I explained the whole injury, and I said, as far as I know, he's out for the season because he's got a big tear in the ACL. He has a fracture on the bone. a small fracture, and all these things doesn't tell me he can come back from it. So the whoever he has already consulted has already advised him surgery that he feels, but he's meeting a doctor tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see what that doctor says. But everything, I have read the report, and after reading the report, I became even more gloomy. I felt this might even be a good 1 year out, this thing. But again, different people have different pain levels. I know Ranjit played with a torn ACL and he refused to have surgery until the season was over. But let me tell you, Ranjit is off the charts in terms of pain management and in terms of just willing to fight it out. I mean, there are some guys who will do anything and everything to win the game. And in Glads, we have a couple of guys like that. One is Hardeep. I mean, he will, if he comes on the show and says, we're going to put on a show, and you should have seen him on game day. He was barking at anybody and everybody, including his own players. And in fact, after he got out, he was mad at Taif. And if you ask me, Hardeep is wrong there. I'm telling you openly, Hardeep is wrong, because if you are the batsman and if somebody else is telling you, do this from behind, they'll only tell you something only if they care about you. You get my point?
Right.
If they don't care about you, they are not going to give you any advice. The very fact that they're giving you advice tells you they care about you. Now, as a batsman, you should decide whether you want to follow that advice or not follow the advice. Now, if you get out, you can't blame the guy who's behind you, because guess what? Who is the number one guy in Glads who gives advice from behind? It is Mr. Hardeep Singh. And the reason he gives that is because he is the one who is so bothered about everybody else. You get my point? So when he got out, he was giving thigh for this thing. But all this happens only because how crucial the game is. Arjun never comes early for a game. For this game, he was probably the first person or second person at the ground. So yes, we won the battle, but I think we lost the war. So the reaction of David was, "Oh, okay, so that's the end of Glad's season." I said, "Okay, well, we'll have to hope that the others will pull up and do some battle." But having said that, yeah, I mean, I don't think we are too thrilled about whatever I have read on the report as such. But what can you do? You have to play the cards which you are dealt and hope for the best. That's the best. I mean, that's all you can do, right? I mean, everybody has injuries.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but you'll have to manage that. But I think they played a fantastic game. We played a fantastic game. I think we outplayed them in every department on this particular day. But I also think, Parthiv, NCP does not suit Stars, because whenever Stars plays on NCP, I have not seen them win too many games, especially that NCP 5. And guess what, Parthiv? Can you play that video from 2015?
Yeah,
there was a showcase game of the week, and that showcase game of the week was Stars versus Indus. And this week too, it was showcase game of the week, and it was Glads versus Stars, and both of them took place on the same ground. So maybe if you have the audio and if you can play it, let's see what happens.
Can you see the YouTube?
Yeah, I can see it. Just enlarge the screen and play.
Okay. Hopefully the audio comes through.
Audio is not audio.
Yeah. No audio.
No audio?
No audio.
Okay. The audio as it is, it's in Russian. It's in German, so I don't think that is going to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the subtitle has been updated with somebody has updated it. So if you have to read through.
This was for that game. I was having fun at Hari's expense.
Binod, yeah.
Is that you, Viju?
Is that what me, Viju? I didn't follow you.
Is that you?
Who is Hitler? Is Hari?
Yeah, who is the Hitler? You are the Hitler.
No. Hari is the Hitler.
Oh,
Hari is the Hari.
Hari is Hitler. Hari is Hitler. I gave the honor of Hitler to Hari. But yeah, I mean this video is available on the Glatz YouTube channel actually. So, but I've noticed one thing that particular game, whenever it's at NCP, Hari Parankusam doesn't have a good time. That the game against Indus 2, they got thrashed. And that's the same thing which happened here. But having said that, if we were to play Stars again, would we win? I do not know. I mean, when you play a good team, anything is possible. So winning 2 in a row is very difficult against a good team. But yes, it was the Hardeep Singh show. And for me, that's why I put Hardeep Singh as the game changer of the week. Unfortunately, I was the only guy who said that he was the game changer of the week. But personally, I felt that when you say, I'm going to win this and I'm going to do whatever it takes, and it is the showcase game of the week, that's the ultimate.
Okay, I got some comments saying remove your AirPods, but I haven't got AirPods with me, so the sound as it is, I think it is German, so it doesn't make sense. The actual script, if you read it, makes sense. It's available as which you said on the website.
Yeah, on the Glatz YouTube channel, if you go and search for I don't know, Stars versus I'm sorry, it was Falcons versus I don't know, I forgot. No, Indus. It was Falcons versus
Indus.
Yes,
Indus.
It was the showcase game of the week in 2015. And so we had hyped up the game. So at that time, we didn't have people coming on the show, you see. So it was all writing. And so we write up and hype the game up. Now you have the ability to interview skippers. And I wonder why Hari Parankusam didn't show up last week. I was not here, but maybe he heard that Hardeep was coming on the show and decided not to come on the show.
Yeah, but I think Hardeep put, he was able to answer questions from either side. He was able to talk about Stars as well and their history and how they must be preparing. So it was a good Q&A, even though we hadn't got Hari.
Yeah, it was a good show. Hardeep was.
Yeah, he was spontaneous. So I think
we had a very good time chatting with him.
All right, let's go on to the next game.
So our friend KK is out on a date and he's watching our show. He wants to guide you on earpods. I didn't get that.
He must be checking his phone for something or the other. I don't know. Or maybe he's come back from the show. Who knows? It's 9:30 here. So if he went for the evening show, he might be back home. He did mention to me that he might join. So let's see.
Okay.
If he's about ready to join.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the next game. I think this is another one which I can run through quickly. SLCC Legends. I think they won the toss, which was a great one because then you can exercise your batting. And that's exactly what they did. There were 3 top scores. Some 23, 29, 28, Guru Naga, Sai Pratap Senkini. And overall, I think Legends made a meal out of it. 124. And Motor City, even though they have a couple of notable players who have been performing for them, again, like Phantoms, like some of the other bottom-ranked teams, they haven't got the ammunition to kind of challenge some of the big teams as big as Legends. And this was a clinical show. Sai Pratap, Sinkini, they just used 4 bowlers, and that too, they wrapped the innings up in 13 overs. Just 29 runs. Was a quick job for the SLCC Legends. So Motor City, still a daylight between them and some of the top teams. So they really need to, deep dive and look at some of the talent, find some resources. Because if they plan on challenging anyone, they need to do it really quickly. But this season is probably going to be a hard one for Motor City. Whereas Legends, I think they get the 5 points. Haven't dropped a point. And in Pool B, any point drop now is going to be really challenging So great win for SLCC legends, and something that Motor City will need to change if they need to win. Next game was interesting as well. I mean, I thought KRCC is going to be just be will be all over Rising Stars, but it was not to be. I mean, at least from the scorecard, it doesn't look like Rising Stars were completely outdone by KRCC. Yes, they scored 67 on runs, and once you had that score, you knew that KRCC is going to run really quickly. They tried to go hard, but somehow they lost a lot of wickets at the start. And Rising Stars, for once, if it wasn't for Ziban's blistering 42, they would have thought they had a very good chance to topple the reigning champions. I mean, they were 5 for 15, and at that point, chasing 68, anything could have happened. I would have basically been, running around Cougar Hoop, having the champions 5 for 15. But Ziban just came in, knocked the runs over. 42 out of 68 was outstanding. I mean, everyone else was just a spectator after that. Just played 15 balls, but didn't score a run, which is something which I have noticed this, and I don't know whether it's something which has changed, but Jasneet has been peculiarly very, very, very slow, and I don't know why it's the case, but I've always seen him kind of just buy his time and not score any runs. In fact, just hold the fort. So, what did you guys feel that Rising Stars had a chance here, or was it always going to be, a matter of time for KRCC?
Parthiv, for me, the problem is that, as I said, KRCC has batting, bowling, everything. So if we did a ranking, for me, KRCC would be number one. Then comes everybody else. But I don't think they are ever in trouble because they have people who can play different types of games. Yes, we are saying that Jasneet played a slow innings, but why does he have to score fast when Ziban is scoring at 200 strike rate or whatever it is, 155 strike rate, I mean, there is only a small mountain to climb, and Ziban was on a different planet. So I don't know. I mean, I think they still have batting there, and Omkar can bat, Syed Mujtaba Haider can bat, Ashish Kotnis can bat. I mean, this is a team where you can't say that you are ever going to be completely dominating the game. I mean, until you can get them all out.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you are right. Different players have different capacities and can turn it on, switch it on at any point of time. But it's just as observation I've seen.
But I think still KRCC has to think about their batting lineup, right? Batting strength at this point, right? Because this is not the first game where they have struggled like this and we're losing wicket in bunch and getting the game close, right? Another thing that I was just checking the record, Ali Abbas opening new addition for the KRCC, but that again not working out probably. He did not.
Last I heard, KRCC is also roped in Saki, so they're just adding to their strength. So it's going to be harder and harder for anyone to beat them.
Saki, as in
left hand.
The left-handed batsman.
Yep, the left-hand bowler, left-hand batsman. I think he's played for Bangladesh under 19 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so that he's been added to their squad as well now. So it's going to be really tough for anyone if he's playing.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? It's going to be very difficult to beat them. I mean, in the sense that they are a complete unit. So the only thing is where somebody is going to get an opportunity, but they have multiple options. It's going to be very difficult to beat them. But
I think
that's a challenge.
The only option to beat KRCC is to beat them off the field, I think. If you can get them to think differently, I think that's the only way they can be beaten.
But again, at the same time, I think we're talking about the cricket here, right? So
no. I mean, there's
we can mention that they are the strongest team at this point, but beating and losing is again the day game. Okay, we have seen at least 100 occasions I could name out, where weaker side has won against very strong side in the international cricket, and West Indies is sitting out at home and will be watching from the Caribbean countries to the World Cup, right? Do you think they are the weakest side? No, right? No. They are the strongest. KRCC is the stronger side. They are adding more and more players. But still, I think it's a game. It's the day game. When the playoff comes, it's altogether a different game, different day. What other team will do, you never know.
Yeah, but also remember, you have a 25-man roster limit or any of those Mishka or any of those things. They are not affected by any of those things, right? I mean, these people are completely dedicated to DCL and
Agreed.
making sure. So in that sense, they are not at all going to be impacted. So I see very little holes. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't be beaten. I'm just saying that while everybody else has a lot of soft underbelly, I'm not sure too many holes can be poked in the KRCC underbelly. It's going to be difficult. You'll need to play a perfect game and then hope for some luck to go in your favor, and then you need a few things going your way. So, but they have
The,
a kick-ass unit. Let's put it that
the
way.
biggest challenge for KRCC would be choosing their playing 12 for playoff.
That is true. That is going to be their biggest challenge.
If everyone is there, yeah, it's tough.
Yep.
It's going to be really
Let's
tough.
move on.
Yeah. All right, next game was a really, really cracker of a game. Hitman versus Pokeries. I mean, I'm sure if I look up the predictions, pretty much everyone was on Pokeries' side. Nobody gave Hitman a chance. And with this win, I think it hurts our chances as strikers because, I mean, not hurt, but basically makes it harder for us. Because Hitman, I mean, this was something which we didn't expect, that Pokeries would drop points and all five of them to Hitman. So they put us in a very precarious situation for next week when we play Lions. Defeat there doesn't mean the doors are shut, but still makes it really hard. And in this case, I mean, last two games, some of these new ads, Mahfouz Ahmad and Imon Kabir, those guys have really stepped up. I don't know how they got these guys and where they got these guys from, but these guys have suddenly put in a fresh breath of air, fresh blood into Hitman, and Hitman definitely looks very, very threatening now. Every game I see them, these couple of guys have been performing day in and day out, and definitely it warrants. If you see the points table, Hitman is number two on the list now. Suddenly, they catapulted from 7 or 8, 7, I think, straight in the last 3 weeks. Winning games they shouldn't be shouldn't be winning, and now they are into driver's seat, almost challenging for the top spot. So it was a great game. How do you guys analyze this win? Did Procrease do anything wrong, or was it just these two guys, Mahfouz and Iman, if I'm saying their
You
names?
say again, I don't think Imon is a new addition. I think Imon played against us too, Parthiv. So
Yeah, I'm talking
Imon has
about this
been
year.
no, but Mahfouz and this other gentleman, Mohammad Hussein Ahmed. I think those are two recent additions. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think Glatz played them as such, but obviously this I think has really upset uh, a few teams, right?
yeah,
I think Gujarat Lions and Strikers are the two
Yes.
teams which are really, really going to face the challenge of unseating Hitman, because Hitman, as you see it, if they can win one or two more games, I think they're pretty much
true. Yeah,
untouchable, right?
yep.
So I think if you can get to 36 points, I think you're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot.
Right.
If it's 38, 40 points, forget about it. So I think they're very much in striking range. I mean, give them credit. I mean, good additions, and they've done a fantastic job. Oh, KK is asking whether you're going to be friends with Malik this week. Is that
Yeah.
KK is trying to stir up the pot? Is it?
Yeah, there's got to be, I promise there's going to be a lot of stirring up because, we meet them every so often, Lions guys, we play with them a lot as well. So there's going to be some friendly banter, but, there's going to be some seriousness as well. So it's going to be interesting because every time I've come across Malik, somehow I've been able to get into his head and cause him to kind of do something which he won't do normally.
So
So
you would be wicket keeping this game?
Yes, that's what I've demanded from Kishore, that I want to keep this game no matter, even if I'm not flexible, not 100%, I can still do a lot more damage behind the behind the stumps. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that game when we talk about predictions. But let's wrap this game up. But uh, Pokeries, I don't know. I mean, they gave away too many runs, and then it was too big a mountain to climb for them.
Yeah, I think 135 was against to start with also very big score, to defend or chase down. And I think Pokeries had that batting, but again, as I mentioned, tough. 88
And I
was.
And I think one of the changes I see in the captaincy of Ranjit versus Ravi Narla, I think Ranjit is still kind of in the new stages of captaincy, so he's still giving a lot of people some chances, especially in the bowling and the batting unit. So I do still see a lot of like these things. Uh, for example, Ravi Narla, he's gone for 5 overs, 36 runs. Yes, I don't know whether I would have given Ravi or continued with Ravi if he was going at 7 per over. I would have definitely tried maybe another option. But to be honest, I mean, there was limited options to go with. But Neil would have been an option for me. Some of those things probably Ranjit needs to figure out, because I don't think he can play the respect game anymore. Yes, you played with these guys a lot, but you need to kind of be cutthroat as well.
He already used 7 bowlers, so I'm not sure at what stage Ravi has got those runs.
Yep.
But I think he already used 7 bowlers.
I think more than Pokeries being upset with the loss, I think two other teams are even more upset than Pokeries
Yeah.
with this loss between Pokeries versus Hitman.
That
I
three, they are
yeah.
the two idiots, right? They were sad more than the other idiot, right? You remember that dialogue? Three idiot. दो लोग और रो रहे थे.
Yeah, yeah,
तो ये दो लोग थे मौलिक and पार्थिव.
yeah. We were the one who were most interested in you know we were kind of disappointed at Pokeries loss. We would have wanted Pokeries to win and
Yeah,
keep.
I mean, Parth, here is the thing. Many of the teams which are going to miss out in Pool B, they would have easily made it walked through in
Yeah,
Pool C. You know,
correct.
I mean, look at the Pool B is like
Yep.
outstandingly difficult.
So with that said, I think we're done with the games. If we want to kind of spend a little more
So
time,
that reminds me, Partha. Let me ask you
yeah,
this. This is a hypothetical question. I like to stir up the pot from my side
yeah,
too. What happens now if, let's say, Strikers and Gujarat Lions? Okay, just play with me.
yep.
You missed the playoffs. Does this mean that you guys are relegated from tier number 1 or whatever it is you guys want to institute next year?
I
See,
think
I always like all teams fighting for playoff spot, like whatever we have right now. This tier 1, I like the idea, but who wants to be in tier 1 if all of them don't make into playoffs? You get my point? Obviously,
Yep.
there should be some incentive, right? I will say, okay, put me into tier 2 because I know I will top tier 2 and be in the playoffs. But as if I am at the bottom of tier 1, and if you say I'm going to miss the playoffs, some teams will say I don't want to be in tier 1. Leave that aside. But now some teams will say I want to be in tier 1 because I want to play good games. But now all of a sudden you guys are in tier 2. Well, that also doesn't make much sense. I mean, I enjoy my rivalry with Strikers. I mean, I would always feel cheated that, oh shoot, I'm waiting for next year to even up the target here, and oh, they're not in tier 1. Now it's a problem. You get my point? I'm just
Yeah. So we have,
trying to play
we,
devil's advocate. I'm asking
yeah,
you your
yeah.
thought
I mean,
process.
we've introduced this idea of the tier, but we haven't really worked on the format and the exact, how we're going to break up the tier, what's
so
going to be, what's
there are
going to
two
be.
things decided here, basically based on what we will have a tier things in the 2024. All 16 teams will qualify. Team that will be qualifying for the playoff will play for the tier 1 if they are participating in 2024. But the remaining number of the teams, how the format will be, it may not be limited to the 16. Probably it may go to the bigger number because we need to create the 2 pools, right? So those
Okay.
things, when the format needs to be discussed thoroughly, and probably committee will come up with a better plan before after the definitely after the end of this season or before start of the season, so that we'll prepare better.
No, I can assure you there will be some teams who are suddenly finding themselves in tier 2 who will say that, hey, historically we have always made the playoffs and now all of a sudden we are being relegated to tier 2. That's really not fair. And I can
No,
understand.
it is fair, right? Because everybody before the season starts, captain
I
has voted for
I
it, right?
agree,
So
but
they need
having but being in pool B and being in pool C is making a lot of difference. I mean, the same team which is missing the playoffs from Pool B would easily make it in Pool C. I guarantee you that. Anyway,
again, those are again
something.
subjective thing, but rules were clear to all. Basically, captains voted. This was on the captain's vote, and everybody voted for it. So those are
I
the
know.
rules. And as I mentioned, 2024 we'll have tier 1 and tier 2. 16
Okay.
teams who will be qualifying for the playoff will play for the tier 1 if they are participating, and the remaining format will be again committee probably will discuss and come up through.
All right, we have our guests joining us. Hey, Adersh.
Hey, before you want to go to the guest, do you want to show your rankings, which we are going to start from next week? This is just one person's rankings.
Yes,
We are just showing. We are only showing the rankings as KK has ranked them. This is the overall rankings, but starting next week, we'll average all 5 of our rankings, which will give you a more rounded ranking.
Maybe so, save this image and try to zoom it. It will be better. I'm not sure if you'll be able to zoom it from WhatsApp image.
Is it not readable?
It's readable for me.
It's now better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So as Viju said, we're going to start off with this EP ranking. We aren't going to provide any subjective commentary around it, but we're going to basically rank the teams based on how we feel, based on obviously their performance, their winning percentage, their points, but also looking at who they beat this week, what are the chances, how are they kind of trending in the last few weeks, kind of going. All this criteria kind of goes into our mind when we put, when we are ranking. So as of today, based on the 6-week performance, we have KRCC topping the charts. I don't think anybody has any argument around that. They are the defending champions. They are playing like defending champions, obviously. We have GLCC, then Glads, Stars, Indus, Pokeries, Titans, Raptors, MCC Miles, Legends, Bulls, Hitman, Canton Hurricanes, Sterling Strikers, Gujarat Lions, Red Devils, Dynamites, FCC, Strikers, Troy Hawks, Fighters, Hawks, FCC Agni, Rising Stars, MI Rangers, SSK, Hyria, Thunderbolts, Cheetahs, SLCC Guardians, Local Boys, Spartans, Stingers, Marvels, Motor City, Phantoms, Dark Horses, Cover Drive Cricket Club, and Royal Stars.
So at least for today's game, basically KK says Canton Hurricanes is number 12, and he's saying Hawks is number 22, right?
22.
So basically, Vikram Reddy Gollamari has plenty of ammunition to to go against, saying that you ranked me in 22. Let me show you what I'm capable of, right?
Can we go back to that, please? I have a specific question to you both.
Yeah, hold on. Is Vikram on?
Yeah, Vikram is here. I think he has to switch on his camera and audio to say hello to us.
Wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yes. So let's focus on, because we don't want to spend a lot of time in this. So Vijubhai and Parthiv, let's focus on 16 to 20. Which team do you think can make it to that 17 to 20 probably? Let's give it to Hawks also. Let's go to the till 22. I'm not sure where 21 is missing in this sequence. But which team do you think can go and can qualify? And if
I
so,
think I
And
think
what?
fighters have a very good chance, right? Strikers, it's all depends upon what they do against Lions, is what I feel. Well, I think strikers and Lions, their season boils down to strikers versus Lions. So we'll see. I'm sure that's why I asked Partha, how come strikers versus Lions didn't get any vote for Showcase Game of the Week, because they have the entire season riding on that game, because Pool B is a man eat man pool kind of a thing. But yeah, I think Fighters is going to be is a very good team. I don't see them at 20. I think they are better than 20. But uh, for me, Fighters is better than FCC. So, but that's just me. That's me personally. But that doesn't mean we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I see Fighters there. Troy Hawks, they've been playing very good cricket.
Yeah, I believe
So you can't.
Troy Hawks
Yeah.
have a good chance.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good chance. So I think though the right there are two teams, and Hawks going to be dependent on what they do against our good friend Adersh Nair and Canton Hurricanes, right? So I mean, there are some mouth-watering matchups, I feel.
yeah,
I don't know how
lot of
you
lot
guys
of
feel.
good game this weekend though.
Yeah, a lot of good games this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So let me welcome our guests. Vikram, if you can switch on your camera.
I think you're driving.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Vikram. Hi there.
He is driving.
All right. Then obviously don't switch on the camera. Yes, but let me welcome you guys. Thank you for joining our show, Adersh and Vikram. Obviously, we picked your game this week as the showcase game of the week. And when we say showcase game of the week, as you can rightly say, we want these two teams. We see them as equal relative strength. Even though the rankings are subjective, as I said, it depends on past performances. But we feel like both the teams have the ammunition to kind of go head to head and kind of give us a really mouth-watering contest. So obviously, that's the format of the show. We'll probably ask you some questions. We want you to be as candid as possible.
Yeah.
It's your opportunity for highlighting your team, highlighting your players as well. So use this opportunity to kind of give shout outs to your team members, to your team, any particular person you want to. It's all yours. It's your forum. So I generally go first. I have a question for others. Javed Bhai has been leading Canton Hurricanes, or the team has gone through a lot of name changes as well over the last few years, and now you've taken over. How have you kind of changed the dynamics of Canton Hurricanes?
So normally we play as Canton 11 in DCL. So
Yep.
basically, we have two teams. One is Canton 11, and that's is mostly DCL, and it's managed by Javed Bhai and co. And then we have the Hurricanes team, which is mostly in FCC team. So we focus on
Yeah.
FCC tournaments there. So Hari and Amit were the founding members of those teams. So those are the two teams. This time, Javed Bhai asked us to manage DCL. So that's why we pitched in for him, and we formed the core members, pulled in the core members from Hurricanes, and formed the unit. Mostly we play as same core members play everywhere together, and this time we focus more on DCL. So and Michika. So that helped us. So less matches and focus more on DCL and Michika this year. So that is helping us less burnout, because last year we had 4 matches every weekend, and one time we had 3 matches in a day. So all those things, and also Hari was in travel plan to India initially, so we couldn't manage to pull in a team for FCC. That's also a reason. So we thought we let's stick with one team for this season, and that's why. Yeah.
So you don't have a team in FCC then this year?
This year, yeah, we are not putting a team in
Okay.
FCC.
Okay.
So I know others. I think Canton Hurricanes has a good draw. I think apart from one game, I think it
Rising
was
Stars,
against MCC Miles and Fighters, which was a great game which you guys won. Obviously, both games you guys won, but you've kind of slowly eased into the tournament. You had a really great first couple of games into Thunderbolts and Rising Stars. Not that big teams, but now the real season starts. I think starting with Hawks, and then you have, I think you have
KRCC, KRCC.
KRCC, and then I think you have another big game after that.
My
Yeah,
Rangers, Hawks, and Red Devils. Yeah, I think
yeah,
we have a good matches
Red
coming.
yeah. So you have quite a few really good games, and as the table is hotting up, uh, do you how confident are you right now that the team should make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we will be qualifying at 4 or 5. Bottom three teams will be evenly matched. 35, 36, 37. That's what our estimate goes on. So we will be ending up on 4 or 5 position unless we beat KRCC. So that's the equation. Yeah.
All
So
right, that
we are in a good spot for playoffs. So that's what our expectation is. Yep. And team is
nice.
playing as a unit, and everybody is picking up one match. And yep. So we are in a good state till now. Let's see what's the tournament progress.
Nice. All right, Mike. My next question is for Vikram. If you can answer, I don't know if you are in a position to answer.
He's
Well,
got his camera on, Parthiv. It's
yeah,
just that it's not clear. That's all.
that's
Okay,
okay.
but
I mean, I don't want to. If you're driving, that's okay. I can wait until you reach
Yeah,
a
maybe
spot.
we can wait 10 minutes if we can reach some
Yeah.
safe location or home and continue with
Are
Adersh
you
and
on your
then
Are
the
you on your
questions.
car speaker where you can answer?
you can't hear him.
Yeah, I don't think we can hear you.
I don't know if he can hear us also.
Looks like.
Looks like he can hear us, but he is unmute now. Yeah.
I think
Yeah, we
he's
are
on.
still not able to hear him. Yeah, let's continue with Adarsh. Meanwhile, Vikram is fixing his.
Definitely not driving because I don't think you can do that while driving. All right. I'll go with Satish Bhai. Satish Bhai, your question for others.
So, Adarsh bhai, I think couple of questions, like a few questions that he has already asked about the Hurricanes. So one specific question against the Rising Star game. I think that game probably you should have won. It is you are hot favorite for all of us.
Yeah.
Do you think that game may hurt you for a longer run?
Yeah, definitely.
You would
Yeah.
have been more comfortable situation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what went wrong on that game, and how you guys are thinking that you can fix for the future games?
Yeah, that match, unlucky for us, it fall on a Sunday, and we had a morning Michigan match and a 1 p.m. DCL match too. So that hurt us badly. So it's same players playing, 8 players playing in both matches, and everybody's out of energy. So and couple of players, for example, our openers came late, so that disturbed the early plans as well. Yeah, and second, bowling second, fielding 60 overs, bowling second also. So there was less energy on that game. That was the main reason for the loss for that particular game. But then everybody is putting their full effort. That was a bad day for us. That's what I mean.
Okay. Second thing, we have specifically talk about your performance, and Vijay has already given your name, right? Amazing,
Yeah.
Adarsh. So
Thank you,
amazing,
Vijay.
amazing Nair. So
Thank you, Vijay.
you are performing really great with the bat, but again, I know being a captain, you are giving opportunity to the other. Probably that would be your answer. But why you are not batting up in the order, or at least the order that you are batting right now, at this middle order or a little bit up, when
Yeah,
you are performing well? And because it's not that other batsmen are consistently performing from your side, right? We see like couple of wicket, 3-4 wicket down with the no time, and then later point of time you are coming in the down order and supporting with someone else, right? So what is the thought behind your specific batting order when you have full
no,
liberty to go in any order?
Adarsh, ask him how come he did the same nonsense last year, and KK
it's
used to
rotated.
constantly ask him, when are we going to see you opening the batting or going up the order and things like that. And now he's turning around and asking you the same question after he did the same nonsense. All right, but no, I just had to poke it in before.
No.
No, I didn't want to let him off the hook, but go ahead and answer
Yeah,
that
so
question.
basically we strategize our tournament into 5 different sessions, 5 overs each, and my roles comes after 16th over. Initially, that was the expectation. So 12th over mark to 25 over mark. So that was the expected plan for me to rotate and bring the match to a good, stable finish. So that was our initial strategy. But unlucky that top order didn't fire off a couple of initial matches, so I have to come early into the wicket and stay till the last. So that was the reason. So we are going ahead with the same plan. I will come late, so top order will play accordingly. That's the expectation. Yeah,
My last question to you about any specific plan to counter Hawks?
not exactly. They are a good team. Yeah, everybody is a they contribute. Everyone literally contribute to the match. So 11 players they play us together, and we play together as a team also in some other tournaments. So we know each other. So it's a good team to have a good match with. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm good. Good luck to you and for the remaining season.
Yeah. Thank you, Suresh.
Adersh, I thought I should talk about, a lion causes mayhem. That's what a lion does. It goes and really causes trouble. This year, you're the lion on your team. You have been creating enough and more trouble for plenty of opponents. But on this show, we have last year's lion, because Vikram Reddy Gollamari was the lion last year who was causing enough and more problems for many opponents. I also found that to beat Canton Hurricanes, you need to go through Adersh Nair. Last year, to beat Hawks, you needed to go through Vikram Reddy Gollamari. On Canton Hurricanes, you are the superstar this year. Our superstar for last year, for all of DCL, was Vikram Reddy Gollamari. You're the man in form this year. Vikram Reddy Gollamari was the man in form last year. And so he's the man out of form who needs to come into form if he is to make life difficult for you.
Yeah, I think he's still bowling good.
He is still bowling good, but he's not picking up wickets like how he was picking up last year.
Yeah, he's
now,
not coming to opening.
Who is leading your team? Are you leading the team, or is Hari leading the team? There was some confusion a couple of shows ago, so that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, Hari went to India during the early stage of the tournament, so he gave the mantle to me. So I was leading the team. So now he's back, but let me continue leading the team until he comes to the form or the group of the team. So I'll be leading the team. That's the plan.
You'll be leading the team. Yeah. Vikram, let me ask you this question: are you leading the team, or is Naresh this thing?
Can you guys hear me first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry. Yeah. Naresh is leading. Naresh is leading the team. He's our captain.
Okay. But you were leading in between, just like how Adersh was doing, right? I mean, when Naresh was
I support him. Yeah, I support him on the field, but when he's not available, yes, usually me and Hari will take care of the leadership roles. Vijay.
Okay, so coming back to this matchup, both of you guys will be looking to carry the team on your back in this coming game. Now, Adersh, Mohammad Ramzi, this is my first question to you. He was the guy in form last year. He was in contention for number one honors in terms of wickets taken.
Yeah.
My question is, this year, it has been Adersh Nair who has been doing all the damage that we had to nickname you Amazing Nair. And last year we had to give, Golden Boy a name, and then we had to give Vikram Reddy Gollamari a name. Let me ask you this question. Is Ramsey going to be bowling like Mark Woods for this game tomorrow? Or, this coming weekend? Because he must be pumped up, all pumped up.
Once the summer
probably you're a strike bowler, right?
Yeah, once the full summer comes in, Ramsey and Javed Bhai comes into action fully. So that's the expectation.
Okay. The other thing is, I like your jerseys. I already praised your jerseys, saying that, I thought it was pretty cool jerseys. Having said that, who are you targeting on the opposition? Obviously, when Blacks played Stars, we knew one thing, that we couldn't target Deepak, so we had to go after some of their other bowlers. And who are you targeting when you guys are playing Gollamari and company?
I think they have a pretty good bowling lineup. 6 bowlers, 4 firing fast bowlers, and 2 medium fast bowlers. I think, we'll definitely take on whoever who is out of mark on that day. That's the plan.
Okay. Uh, is Vikram is still there, right? So hopefully I can ask this question. Vikram, what's going on this year? How come this form has dipped? Because they say form is temporary, but class is permanent. So obviously we are looking for that class to make its mark this week. But what do you account for the drop in performance compared to last year? Because last year was outstanding. Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
He is back.
He's back.
Can
Sorry,
you hear
guys.
us?
Vikram, I don't know if you heard the question. My question is, last year was an outstanding season, a season which turned a lot of people's heads, made you a household name. Of course, we did our part to make sure it became a household name. But my question is, any reason why you are not at the same level as last year? Or is it simply the wickets not falling, or is it simply bad luck on the batting end? I mean, do you have a reason why you're not at the same
Yeah.
stratospheric levels which you were at last year?
Well, I guess last year, if you remember, Vijubai, the first game that we played against FCC Agni, so that boosted me up. I took like 5 wickets and then scored like 47. So the first game gave me that momentum, and then the very next show that you talked about me, the boost that you gave me raised my confidence levels to the next level, and then I continued there. But to start with, Juba, I'm not a bowler. I'm actually just a batsman, but I turned up to be a bowler in Hawks team. Uh, but somehow I was picking wickets, so I continued my bowling. And then, but this year, my target was to focus more on batting side, and because we have a couple of additional bowlers this year, left arm bowlers. Uh, so that's why I want to be a little bit downside on the bowling unit side, but maybe my mindset is not towards the bowling side this year. But uh, I should come back. I mean, no excuses, but I'm getting my 5 over or 4 over quota. But it's just that last year I was thinking like, okay, I'm the only one who needs to pick the wickets, because the other bowlers were more focused on economy. But this year, uh, since we had like more bowlers who can pick wickets, I'm like lying downside, I would say, Vijay.
But let me that's a little shocking to me, because last year when I looked at it, most of your wickets were either bowled or LBW. In other words, if a batsman missed your ball, in all likelihood he was gone, because it was going straight to the stumps. So the percentage, when I looked at it last year, the percentage of bowled and LBW ratio to caught, where you somebody made a mistake, a batsman made a mistake, this was like more like sheer pace, or the ball right on target, which was getting the wickets, kind of a thing. And for that kind of economy and for that kind of strike bowling, don't you think your team went all the way to quarterfinals? I mean, it's not no mean achievement. That's why I'm a little surprised that you feel that there are other better bowlers. I mean, I really have to see these other better bowlers to believe that. I think we lost him again.
He's there, but he's going in and out kind of thing.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to.
Sorry, Vijay, I'm having some connection issues here. I'm in the car. I'm away from home.
Okay.
But I guess I got your question. So last time, yes, I was targeting more onto stumps. But this year, I don't know. I would like to get that economy thing for some reason, because of lack of Nourish. Nourish was injured this year. He got fractured. His right hand got fractured, so he was not able to bowl for like 3 games. So I was more focused on bowling economy, so that way the bowlers who are bowling next can get the wickets. So maybe that strategy didn't help for the first 5 games. So moving forward, I think I should come back to where I was last year, because even for next few games, Naresh will be out. He's out of the country. He went to India a couple of days back.
Okay. Okay.
I had a question, Vikram, for you. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you on the points table, you guys are 10th position. Yes, you guys have played the least number of games. You've only played 5. But from here on in, there are some really tough games in the Thunders, MCC Miles. You have Troy Hawks. You have some big games coming up as well. So, how realistically do you think you guys are playoff bound?
We were in the same situation last year, Parthibai. Last
Okay.
year too. So all the last 4 games we had to win against the big guns.
Mhm.
So it's like Satish always says, it's just a matter of the day. 5 good performances from bowling side and 2 to 3 partnerships is already great. No matter who the opponent is, scoring 100 plus
Is he breaking up?
Yeah.
But he's paused now.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you kind of broke up in between. And now,
Sorry, yeah. I was saying that we had to win against the big ones like Innocent and Tigers.
You're very
So
hard to
even
follow,
we
but
now have the same situation.
we are not able to
Vikram,
follow it now.
yeah, Vikram, can you try without the video? Maybe that bandwidth might help. Without the video, maybe you can just talk. Yeah, let's see if that works. Can you talk now?
Parthu, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. But it's the same issue. You're cutting out.
I think there's a lag, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's
Okay,
unfortunate.
it's unfortunate, but I wanted to, throw out a shout out to Adersh and to Vikram. You guys come and now you can put a face to this. This is the first time I'm interviewing Adersh, first time I'm interviewing Vikram too. But one of the things which we try to do is, bring and highlight these players who are having outstanding seasons. And as I said, there is a match within the match. Sure, 2 teams are going, but clearly the 2 best players on both of your teams are coming out, and hopefully you're going to put on a performance, just like Hardeep said last year or last week, where he guaranteed a show. We are looking for a show. I mean, we're hoping that you guys put on a performance. Do you guys broadcast your game? Because this is one game I would love to watch.
Yeah, if Hawks is not broadcasting, we will broadcast.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I wanted to wish,
Gently we broadcast all our games.
okay, fantastic. But having said that, I mean, fabulous season, Adarsh. Continue the good work. Vikram, remember, form is temporary, class is permanent. I think whatever worked last year, you need to go back to it. You need to put on a performance, because I know one thing. Do you want to show your predictions? Because I think I predicted Hawks to win this game, because I saw that Gaba had picked Canton Hurricanes, and I needed to catch up on Canton. Sorry, as far as I'm concerned, this is a 50-50 game. I wouldn't be surprised if either team won it. So it's whoever is going to play better on that day is going to win it. But it's a gamble which we have taken here. But Vamsi, you have some questions for Adarsh while our friend brings this up?
Oh yes, definitely. Okay. First of all, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you,
Adarsh.
thank you.
Yep, I saw that catch which you took. I saw it live. It is much faster than how it appeared in the video, and that was some amazing reflex that you had. Right, and
Yeah.
I still remember. I think it was the pandemic year. Myself and Adarsh were playing on the same team on Michigan.
Right. Yeah.
He was always masked up, so I couldn't really see his face until the end of the tournament.
Yeah, first time everybody was saying KK. I saw him first time during that season. Everybody said KK is a great hitter. I just see him first time there in the match. Yeah.
Well, I was 30 pounds lighter. That's a different story. But
You
yes,
added left pad, that's why additional weight.
yeah. But again, Adersh, I have a few questions to you. You said you want to reach out to the 36, 37 point mark, right? That's what you want to get to, the 36 or 37 point mark. That will make you as the fourth or fifth.
Okay.
So the way I'm looking at it, you have two games which probably are walkovers for you, like Royal Hunakars and the MI Rangers games.
MI Rangers,
But
they added a couple of players. I think it will be a good match as well. They lately added a couple of players. Yeah, but we cannot take them lightly.
Yep.
Yeah, considering other teams, it's an easy match. Yeah.
There are 4 other games, right? One of them with Hawks, which is going to happen this week.
Yeah.
I would say advantage you because Naresh is not there, one of their main players. Then KRCC is the other game. Red Devils is the third, and Troy Hawks is the fourth.
Yeah.
Troy Hawks only lost 1 game out of the 5 that they played. The Beat Indus Thunders. They are in form. Red Devils, the squad looks amazing on paper, but they don't have enough bowling. That's what I can say at this moment. But KRCC is the defending champion, so that will be a tough game. And this week's Hawks game probably might also decide which way your team is tilted. As of now, 4 wins out of 6 is where you're currently standing, right?
Yeah.
So, what is your thought process? I'm sure it's halfway through. At least the top management or the think tank might have already thought, okay, these are the games. Let's focus.
Yeah.
These are the games. Let's think we got 0 points, right? It'll be there for sure, right? So just walk us through those 4 games, especially Hawks, KRCC, Red Devils, and Troy Hawks.
So apart from KRCC, Hawks, all those 3 matches will be a fight. So we'll give the best fight for those matches. KRCC we have to have the extra 100% for that match. So expecting 2 out of 4 matches must wins, and third is the bonus. That's the plan.
Yep, but the point is, except for the Royal Hunkars game, I think you have to win 3 out of the other 5.
Yeah.
And all 5 are not going to be so easy.
So easy.
Because you're counting MI Rangers as added 2
to win 4 matches. So that's the expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So in the order of your priority, right? What are the teams you think could be easier?
That's a tough question. Royal Hunkars definitely first, MI Rangers 2, Hawks 3, then comes Troy Hawks, then Red Devils.
I
Okay. So
appreciate you honestly answering that question, because a lot of people take the easy way out. But I think one of the reasons we enjoyed having Hardeep on the show was he gave you frank answers, and you're getting a frank answer here.
Yep. Thanks for that, Adersh. And next point, right? In your pool currently, KRCC, Miles, and Thunders are in the top 3. I think they might end up in the top 3. But then you have 5 competitors: Red Devils, Troy Hawks, Canton Hurricanes, Fighters, and Hawks.
Yeah.
And these 5 games. These 5 teams would probably get the 2 spots. Right? Red Devils is your toughest competitor. And 1 out of 5 Hawks. Sorry?
Expecting the third team to qualify 16th.
The 16th team is always a question, right? Whichever pool has highest points, they might make it through.
Yeah.
So it can be from either of the pools. But yeah, out of these 5 teams, 4 teams, at least 1 team will make it. So I would say all the best. Play good cricket.
Thank you. And
recently talking to Amit, I think 2 weeks back I was umpiring a game.
Okay.
It was on a Sunday, and I ran across Amit Sivarai. He did tell me that you are now awarding your players with medals, and you also got what is the shield for the player of the season for your team.
Yeah. So that's
who started it, and
pardon me, KK. That's who?
Whose thought was it? Was it Hari or was it you? Or did you guys collect more funds? Did you guys collect more funds from the players?
No funds. It's a team thought. So we have a core team. So we think, and so we have a couple of new additions this year. So to motivate those guys and bring into the DCL mode of execution, 25-hour matches, right? Long long match. So some of those things have to be there, so that they
Okay.
can enjoy the match. So that's it.
So that
Let me ask you.
that brings me to a quick question. How many medals did you give yourself? Let's get the answer.
0.
That
That
is
was-
exactly. Why do you think I asked the question? Because I knew that's exactly what is going to happen.
The captain syndrome.
Yes. Where
I
you
asked this question earlier. Yeah, I asked the same question earlier to Parthiv, right? When Kishore played phenomenal against Glads, right? Why did Kishore give it to someone else? Because see, you are in the management, you want to encourage players. Doesn't mean the man of the match award needs to be given to someone else when you are the rightly deserving candidate.
No, from
All
the
I know is, Adersh, you have been setting the scorecard and the
Yeah, from
grounds
the man
on
of-
fire.
From the man
So-
of the match point of view, cricket clubs is giving the best bowlers always the award.
Yeah, it's
No, that is we already sent that correction. I think they implemented it. So let's
you
see
can
how
always
the week.
change it though. I mean, yeah,
They
by
always change.
default.
Yeah. But the default will be previously, before that, it will be always the bowlers will come in handy.
Correct.
Yeah, it will
Alright,
show
I think-
so many people.
Yeah, we have one last question if anybody wants, because we need to jump. It's already 10:30, so we have our predictions also to go through. So, any other questions before I move to predictions?
No, I just
I'm
wanted to thank Adersh and Vikram for coming on the show. Fantastic job, guys. All the best, and put on a show for us. We'd love to see you, and all the best the rest of the season too.
Thank you all. You guys are helping us to perform, giving motivations. Thank you.
Yes.
We'll try to put up a good show. Thank you all.
Best
Thank
of
you,
luck.
Vijay.
You guys want to stay, you can stay for the prediction and want to predict some of the game. We
Yeah, you
continue.
can see us. You can see me leading. All right, let me share my screen so I can share the Excel sheet. All right, so as you can see, Gabaji is catching up. KK, 101 each now. Viju is a point shy. Satya is a little bit of catch up. I still have a hand distance from each of my furthest competitors, so a little more comfortable. 3 points gap.
You
This
can get
week-
as comfortable as you want, Parthiv.
me
Let
and
the
Parthiv.
players begin.
Lot of prediction is different, Parthiv, this week. So either
This
I'll
week,
pick
yeah,
up or-
this week I mean, it can go either way. So let's see. So first game is Thunderbolts Miles. So looks like everybody is on the Miles wagon. 5-0 to Miles. Troy Hawks versus KRCC. Okay, that's another one. 5-0 to KRCC. Canton.
Parthiv?
Yeah.
Can you zoom in a little bit? I think
Oh.
it's too small for the viewers.
Wait. Let me zoom in. How about now?
Yep, just scroll to the right a bit and then you can stop there. You don't need the first two columns. Just scroll to the right a bit. Yep, there you go.
Okay. All right. Third game is what we were talking about to Adersh and Vikram. Canton Hurricanes versus Hawks. So we have 3 to Canton Hurricanes, 2 to Hawks. Satya and Viju are on the Hawk side. Me, Gabaji, and KK are on the Canton Hurricane side. So that's why I think this was one of the reasons why we picked this as the showcase game of the week, because it's
Yeah,
so-
because even the analysts are divided, right? I
Divided,
mean,
correct.
it's as close as it gets. In a 5-man, this thing 3-2 is as close as you can get.
Yeah. I thought the Titans versus Bulls will be the showcase game.
Yep. I mean, if
Yeah.
you look at Titans Bulls, that
No,
too,
yeah, that too is 3-2.
Yep. So there were a few ones which we were discussing. Strikers Lions was another one.
All I know is, Parthiv, this Titans versus Bulls game reminds me of one thing. There was a lion and a bull out there, and the bull was fighting with the lion, and the lion decided to eat the bull and ate the bull. After he ate the bull, he felt very happy, and he left out a loud roar. A person who was hunting came, saw the lion, and killed the lion. You get my point? What is the moral of the story? When you're full of bull, do not make any noise. Okay? So all I know is Titans might be full of bull and they shouldn't make too much noise this week. It's
What
a
does
warning for
Gabaji have to
Gaba.
say?
Point taken.
All right, we'll see. Gabaji has scheduled a practice session today in anticipation of this big game. So hopefully it will be another
And
cracker of a game.
let me also give one stat. Both these teams have been undefeated so far this year, and
Yeah.
they are the only two teams which are undefeated this year's DCL.
So we
What
know
are
that
we are talking about Bulls and which
yeah,
team are we
Bulls and
talking
Titans,
Bulls
and
and
after
Titans.
this week, one of them is going to be having a loss.
Or tie the game, it's much better.
All right. So next one, Red Devils, Homekars. That was an easy one. 5-0 to Red Devils. Stars, Hitman. 5-0 to Stars. But I was so itching to go to Hitman on current form.
Yeah,
But-
please take that.
but I still stayed with the tide. I don't want to take unusual, completely bizarre risks. But I do feel if there is an upset, I think this is the game that we need to watch closely.
Again, I will not call it an upset.
Not the next game.
Next game is not an upset. It's 4-1 Strikers.
Yeah, no. So
how
that's
is
what.
How is
I
that
mean,
an upset?
No, I mean, so if Lions win, it's going to be an upset.
No, I guess I don't know. I mean, I can say because Lions are new, I would say yes, it's an upset because we have a history. Lions are fairly new, but on a day anything can happen, and they've got some really good hitters. So if it's their day, it's their day. But I feel confident. I think going into the game, having a known enemy is always better than an unknown enemy. So I know a lot of these Gujarat Lion guys, played with them, played against them. So there is at least going into the game, I know who plays or how they play. So it's going to be interesting if we can execute according to our strategy.
Your left arm spinner is going to be playing.
Oh yeah, both spinners are in. Binod is in. So we are going with all ammunition which we have.
Okay. I'm sure he's bringing players from Canada and Zimbabwe and wherever else he can get a player.
Yeah.
What happened now? Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cover drive and FCC Agni. FCC Agni gets all the 5. Local boys, Cheetahs. Okay. Local boys, I think they've given quite a bit of display this year. So they get 5-0. Pokeries and SSK. Pokeries, the old mates, the best BFF, Ranjit and Linga will meet eventually on the field. So Pokeries still go 5-0. GLCC Stingers, another 5-0. Raptors, Dynamites, surprising 5-0. Nobody wants to take a chance on Dynamites.
We thought you might take a chance on Dynamite.
No, I won't take a chance on this. I don't want to concede my lead. I was thinking maybe one of you guys might take a chance to catch up or something. Spartans, Dark Horses. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, this is Satya. Satya is far behind, so he has to take a calculated move. Okay, that might be his calculated risk. He picks Dark Horses over Spartans. Everyone else is on Spartans. And then Sterling Strikers, SLCC Guardians is 5-0 Sterling Strikers. So yeah, we have quite a few.
So basically, it's Bulls Titans and our showcase game of the week. Those are the two games which are really 3-2 and
3-2.
Where both rightfully are going to be 50-50 games.
Correct.
So Azhar, if you want to pick, I think two games you can pick, right? Striker and Gujarat Lions. What will be your pick? Because obviously Canton one, you'll pick Canton. So
Yeah, I'll pick Strikers and Bulls.
okay.
Perfect.
You're putting the love back to Pardeep because Pardeep picked Canton Hurricanes. You're picking Strikers.
That's true. All right. So that is a wrap. Our show. Thank you again for everyone for making it. I know we started a little late, but I think we made up time just over 2 hours. So I know the next few weeks are going to be action-packed, back-to-back games. There's no break in between. So July and almost August is going to be back-to-back games. So it's going to be really interesting as the playoff spots start to kind of get certain teams start to make their entry into the playoffs, and certain teams which are still looking for the time. So with that said, thank you everyone and good night.
Good night.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.